Hey guys, it's Starlight, and welcome back to my channel for yet another episode playing The Hunter Call of the Wild. I have been gone for quite some time, and for that, I really do apologize to my subscribers that have regularly revisited my channel in my absence. When I looked back at my analytics, I was shocked to see so many people revisit my channel. So for that, you guys are awesome and extremely appreciated for your continued support. Thank you so much. For those that are new, welcome, and I do hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future content and to help my channel grow. So, to be honest, I'm really glad to be back at it, and hopefully this video, again, does make up for my absence. So, as you guys may have seen in my previous albino red deer video, at the beginning of that video, I wasn't really sure about what I should choose as the first great one species that I wanted to grind for, because I thought they all were really unique and absolutely stunning, so it was really hard to decide. So I really sat down and put thought into what I felt comfortable shooting repeatedly. So I wanted to go for the red deer at first. So in the meantime, I was saving up money for a great one grind, no matter which one I decided. And the gray wolves actually came in and stole the spotlight. So, since I wasn't able to make content when the Ski Ridge map was released, I'll go ahead and give my input. I absolutely fell in love with the Grey Wolf rework and the whole map, but focusing on just the wolf portion, I was super happy with the rework. I honestly fell over the moon with the two new rare fur types that were added, which include the acromelanistic fur and the melanistic charcoal fur. There was already a pretty good list of rare furs, and just adding two more was just really awesome of EW. Before you know it, right before Halloween, the Great One Grey Wolf was released. I instantly knew without a doubt in my mind which species I was going for. I was honestly determined to bring a Great One Grey Wolf back to my lodge, no matter what it took. And I in fact did, and it was too easy until my second Great One Grey Wolf, which was a different story. He was a little shy, spawning in at 1,558 kills later, so... But we will cover the stats back in the lodge or maybe throughout the compilation. But I did put everything pretty much in a chronological order per se. I really can't get over how well the rework was done on these gray wolves and how far the model has actually come. Hunting them feels more realistic versus the old model, I can tell you that. And I'm not gonna lie, I went through some old footage back in February of me hunting them on Medved, and it was making me crack up seeing the pack of wolves and just their derpy faces. I'm definitely spoiled on the new model for sure, but when I looked back at the footage, I realized how badly they needed this rework. Hopefully the Iberian wolves will get one in the future as well. I'm just being real, the old model looks like me clocking out at the end of the week on a Friday night, just done with it. So yeah, EW, chef's kiss on this rework. They've been one of my favorite species to hunt before the rework. Basically when I first started playing the Hunter Call of the Wild, so it's definitely a breath of fresh air and a more realistic feel when hunting the gray wolves. So you will definitely be seeing me hunt a lot of these in the future once I recover from this really long grind. So as we ease on into my little compilation I put together here, I will be showing the only diamond that matters to me. So I got this diamond on my birthday. If I included all the diamonds I got on this grind, then we would be sitting here an extra hour. So I decided to put footage of my favorite one of this grind, plus I was just honestly tired of looking at diamond gray wolves. In fact, I still may have my saved harvest filled with diamond gray wolves. That I will not taxi. Why? Because it's not only expensive, but why put many of the same thing in my lodge? So that was diamond number 10 of the grind and kill number 777. And at that point, I was starting to get a diamond every 50 to 100 kills, I'd say. So I had a little hope that Great One number 2 would spawn, but RNG was not on my side until I shot over twice the amount of wolves at that point. So I'll definitely give you guys some advice when doing this grind. I carried my 300 and my 308 on me. I used my 300 on wolves that were not guaranteed diamonds or rares, and I used the 300 polymer tip bullets to kill them quicker than I would with the 308. That saved me so much time, and I started to go from 40 to 60 kills per day to 80 to 100 kills, I would say, within a 5 to 6 hour hunt. Alright, guys, so let's begin with Great One number 1. I know this recording was not full screen. I had to reinstall OBS Studio, so I thought it was centered to capture the full screen. I literally almost cried when I went back over the recording and I noticed it only captured the top left portion of my screen. I was so relieved that I at least got him within view. I would have been devastated if I didn't get my first great one within the screen at least. So at that point, I even debated on if I should even make content after that epic fail to capture a full screen video of my first great one. But we all make mistakes, and now I double check to make sure that I'm recording the full screen so that won't happen again. With it still being captured on screen, I went ahead and included it in my video anyways because it wasn't a total loss of footage, and it truly was one of the most memorable trophies I've ever hunted throughout my time playing the Hunter Call of the Wild. Again, sorry about the quality, but let me introduce my first great one that I got on October 23rd of 2025. So I spent 5.5 hours the previous night finding all of my drink zones and setting up my tents and tripods on 8 zones that had 2 males with levels 5 and up. The next day, I would say it was around 12 or 1 in the afternoon, and I went through my rotations just going based off of all of the guides I reviewed and followed from other content creators. You can look them up, there are several of them out there. So I was on my third rotation, and within 17 kills, my first great one, Gravehide Grey Wolf, spawn. I was completely caught off guard because I didn't expect to get that lucky that quickly. I immediately ran downstairs with my arms flailing around like my house was on fire to just tell my husband, who did not believe it himself. I looked at him when we got back upstairs and I said, nobody is gonna fucking believe me. Turns out I was not the only one who got them pretty quick when I did my research. I've seen the lowest kills at 3 kills for one person, and this is just my speculation, but I don't know if EW may have had a coding error the first week of release. If a number was mistyped for the percent of chance of spawn rate within their database, could that be why everybody and their grandmother got a Great One Wolf in such a quick spawn rate? For example, if they put 0.1% for the Great One spawn rate for the Grey Wolf, I wonder if they put a higher percentage in their system on accident, thus giving everyone, a high chance of spawning a Great One Grey Wolf so quickly. And the reason I say that is because I just feel like not as many people are getting them as quickly as the first week that the Great One Grey Wolves were released. Again, this is not an absolute fact, but just an observation and a personal thought. Either or, I am definitely not complaining. I can tell you what is a fact, and that was me completely clutching my pearls when I seen 10 fabled at the top right of my screen. And of course, my great one had to spawn in one of the most difficult zones on my initial setup. This moment completely changed my whole gameplay style, and getting my first great one is a moment and a feeling that I will never forget. My hands were shaking so bad, and I play with an Xbox controller because unfortunately I do not have another desk for my PC setup. But what I do have is a microphone that's not entirely ass, so that's a win in my book. So here I take down my beautiful Great One Gravehide. Again, I apologize. I was only able to get part of my screen captured, but that was a risky shot and angle. And when I seen his health drop to 50%, I literally took a deep breath of relief. I wasted absolutely no time beelining to go and claim my first great one. Running the side of the mountain, knowing what I was going to claim was just completely unreal to me. And at this point, I had no clue which fur variation it was, but all I knew was I accomplished what I set out for myself, which was getting my first great one. And here he is, Great One Wolf number one, and overall Great One number one for me. I was absolutely floored because the size of this wolf compared to normal gray wolves was absolutely just massive. I definitely wasted no time taxiing this beautiful wolf. I was admiring all of the detail they put into this model. This was one of my top 5 favorite fur types, and in fact, number 3 on my list of preferences out of the 9 fur variations that you can get. His dorsal stripe with all of the white stripes covering his torso makes him look like a skeleton and just a harbinger of death, like the Grim Reaper, for example. It was absolutely the best trophy to get a week before Halloween. It gave off spooky season vibes for sure. And this was when I decided I needed to keep grinding for Great One Wolf number 2. It is almost an addiction that I now have opened up the doorway to, which is getting more great ones. Now, referring back to RNG luck, sadly, it was not in my favor after Great One number 1 on this grind. This was the first rare that did not spawn until 1,129 kills later. He was wolf number 1,130 of the grind. I wish he was a 9 legendary, but still an 8 mythical. And I'll be quite honest, at that point, I didn't give a damn if he was a level 4. I was just happy to finally get my first rare after 1,100 plus kills, which was insane for my first grind. As you can see, throughout looking at this footage, I was pretty confused at first. I kept going back and forth comparing all of the wolves within this pack. This one was definitely lighter colored versus the rest once I caught on, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't just the lighting because that has happened where I thought I've had rares before, but it was just the shadowing and I was completely disappointed. So yeah, when my egg white wolf appeared, I had some trust issues for sure. So, of course, when I first got a glance at him, it took some time to really pay attention to the details of his fur color. Also, as he walked in closer, I was able to definitely tell at that point. I didn't expect him to be an egg white because the female egg white wolf I got in Medved earlier this year, she was hunted during the day, so I didn't know what that fur type looked like when hunting them at night. I honestly thought he was a red brown and not the egg white. He just didn't appear to be light enough to be the egg white, in my opinion, but I guess I was wrong. Either or, still a win in my book because 1,100 plus kills and no rares was absolute RNG bullshit. But here I took him down, didn't even care about the other male at all. And with that, I landed a decent shot at the angle I was given. Sorry. He did trail off for some distance, so I thought I completely botched the crap out of him, but all was good. When I came up to him, I instantly knew it was an egg white fur. It was around 1 a.m., and I tried my best to not wake up my family and including the whole neighborhood. Although it would be hilarious having the cops show up to my front door thinking that somebody was just murdered in my home. and it's just me in my pajamas trying to show them this badass trophy, while they would probably be extremely unamused with me sitting there telling them that the only crime, and I mean the only crime that was committed in this home, was that my wolf did not spawn as a super rare, because I think that that's a crime. And especially with that scoring, that really kind of pisses me off. But, you know, that is the gamble that you take playing the Hunter Call of the Wild. All right, you guys, so let's move on to rare number 2 of my grind. I had just reached over 1,500 kills into the grind, with this being wolf number 1,552. I would have never thought I'd get an albino gray wolf over months of literally shooting them over and over again in multiplayer, and the only rare I got again was the female egg white wolf. I never seen an albino gray wolf, and this was absolutely my favorite rare on this grind. And in fact, the last rare of this grind, sadly. This was, no questions asked, 100% a rare fur when I saw it. He looked so amazing, like literally like a ghost in the middle of the night. I'm so surprised that I could even see his glowing eyes with such bright, white, beautiful fur. I didn't rush my shot because I just wanted to soak in the moment and admire this beautiful trophy. It was daytime, my windows in my room were open, so my neighbors probably did hear me screaming bloody murder. I probably sounded like some guy plastered at a sports bar cheering on his team that had just made a touchdown and won the game. I mean, I was very loud. And at that point, my hopes for Great One Wolf number 2 were almost non existent, as I promised myself I'd move on to another grind if I didn't get a rare or a Great One at the 2,000 kill mark. But then this beauty showed up and gave me an ounce of hope. At that point, I would have been happy walking away with an albino and ending the grind, to be quite honest. But little did I know, this grind would end very, very soon. So if you feel stuck and like giving up, keep pushing, because you never know what trophy is around the corner. If you need a break, definitely, take one, but don't 100% give up entirely. And let this be an example. If I gave up, I wouldn't have this beautiful trophy or Great One number 2. Let me tell you though, once I got my level 7 albino wolf down, I was in complete shock that I managed to get a vital shot at that angle. Yes, I took the four-wheeler because I'm lazy and wanted to scare away any wolves that may want revenge on me. As I walked up to my wolf, I fell in love and was in complete disbelief on what was sitting right in front of me. Again, amazing job on the rework, and I'm glad I got one after they were remodeled, because wow. I wish the eyes glowed a pink or a red color to emphasize the albinism, but still badass looking. Such a beautiful wolf this is. And now I can cross this off my rares wish list. I will tell you this though, whenever I go back to doing the Great One Grey Wolf grind, because I do want all of the fur types, I'm not gonna lie, but ultimately my twin soul, that is number 1 on the list. I could die happy knowing that I got that thing. But when I go back and do this Grey Wolf grind, whether it be for a Great One or a rare fur type, I really, really hope that I get the acromelanistic, because that's number 1 on my list. And I was so, so sad that I didn't get that throughout this grind. I'm really sad I just got 2 rares within, 1,500 plus kills, but hey, I got what I got, and I'm still pretty happy with it. I'm not gonna lie. It could have been worse. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and wrap this thing up like my dad should have done back in the 90s. Can't put that on YouTube. Oh, no, I'm putting it on there now. I don't give a shit. All right, you guys, we're serious now. So, I am proud to announce great one number 2. I never thought I'd say that first off, and this time it's in full screen capture. Trust me, I made sure to religiously check after that first one because that one that hurt a little bit, okay? And throughout the 3.5 weeks of grinding Grey Wolves, I've learned a lot about grinding and I knew nothing about any of it. And at that point, I was just so burnt out that I even contemplated making this video, to be honest. I really had no hope for him to spawn at all, if I'm being extremely honest on that one. I told myself, hey, 2,000's the limit. And I was so burnt out and done and just ready to wrap it up. And I'm really glad that I didn't because of moments like this. And there he goes. A beautiful shot with a 308. And that was the end of this Grey Wolf Great One grind. It's a good thing I didn't record my reaction. Your earbuds would have been absolutely obliterated. So yeah, after flipping out, I breathed a fresh breath of relief, and I took it as a sign to keep going and continue to make content. I don't know, in some weird way, I was like, okay, I guess it's a sign. The feeling of taking down my first great one was a feeling I'll never forget, but after working so hard through 1,500 wolves, my great one Grey Wolf number 2 was so much more rewarding. And there it is, guys. Great one number 2 and great one Grey Wolf number 2. And I am so relieved that it's the hollow fabled fur. He was actually choice number 2 on my list. And if you're wondering, Twin Soul is my absolute favorite one of them all. Now, he's no Twin Soul, but I will absolutely fucking take it. And I could care less if it was the last one on my list. I just wanted Great One Wolf number 2. But again, EW has outdone themselves with these Great One furs. And I'm sorry about the position, but there's not much I can do about that one. But just look at those white paws and that bright white face. And it kind of has a faintly smoky blend into that pitch black fur. Just super striking and gorgeous. If anything, he would make a cool zombie wolf for any zombie type games out there. He just has that undead appearance and it's a really cool and amazing trophy. I will say that I hope EW adds in a feature that'll allow our flashlights to stay on while taking pictures at night. I feel like that would be just so helpful, and especially in my case right here. But that's okay. We'll have plenty of time to look at him back at the lodge. And if you've made it this long in the video, definitely let me know which one of your fabled Great One Grey Wolf furs are your absolute favorite. And for me, without a doubt, it's the Twin Soul. That's my favorite one. Not gonna lie, that gives me a little inspiration to make a ranking video where I rank my most favorite to least favorite Grey One Grey Wolf fabled fur types. So if I'm feeling some type of way, I might just sprinkle a little something something out there for content on my little baby YouTube channel, just for a little razzle dazzle, you know, since I've been gone for so long. And one thing I didn't even think about making was a trophy lodge tour. Now, my stuff was not impressive whatsoever, but it's been actually adding up, so I'm gonna have to do one for you guys. I think it's time. My shit's everywhere, so I've got to organize my lodges so bad. Well, now that that's done with, let's go ahead and head on over to one of my lodges. Now, I'll be showing these guys in the corner of my lodge, so that way there's absolutely no spoilers. Alright, and we got Great One Grey Wolf number 1, which was the Gravehide, and I can't believe I'm saying that once again. And he's just absolutely a badass fur. I mean, I'll go ahead and show the different poses, which it's hard to choose one. I think they all look great. I think the howling pose does it for me though with this fur type. But we did get him at 17 kills, 0 rares, 0 diamonds, and 0 trolls because it was that quick. I'm not gonna lie, I really can't complain because I got very, very lucky with him. Which, retrospectively, I ended up working off when going for Great One number 2. But he will definitely always have a special place in my lodge, being my first Great One ever. But definitely let me know what you guys think of the Gravehide fur. I think he's really, really neat. It makes me really glad that I put off time to sit back and save money and think about which one I wanted to grind for. And I'm so happy that I waited. Alright guys, so on to great one number 2, my hollow fabled gray wolf. Again, such a great amount of detail put into these Great One Grey Wolf furs. He will definitely look stunning next to Great One Grey Wolf number 1. And what I like about him is that he's going to be bringing spooky season vibes to my lodge all year round. I really love those big white eyes and just I don't know, he just gives off those spooky season vibes too. So I'm so happy with the combination that I got. It was just perfect for being around that time of year. Too bad he didn't spawn on my birthday though. That would have been so awesome, but unfortunately, he came a little bit later. But he was kill number 1556 and the end to the grind altogether. And the pose I think I'm going to choose for him is him being in that aggressive stance. I feel like it gives more attention to his face and his big, beautiful dark mane. Very, very happy with him and to have him here in my lodge. All right, now on to the only 2 rares I got out of all those kills. I'm a little salty about that, but he was an 8 mythical egg white gray wolf. He did not spawn until 1,129 kills into the grind for Great One Gray Wolf number 2. So yes, he was number 1,130 of the grind, and that's how long I went without a rare. Which is messed up. Now, even though I'm going to do a trophy lodge tour soon, I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler. So, I already had an egg white female gray wolf. I hunted absolutely way before the rework. It was like in February. And I might actually make a multi-mount with both of them, which would just look so badass. Now all I need to do is get maybe an albino bison, and oh my gosh. Now, just a personal opinion here. I like the grayish paws that were on the older model. Of course, they needed the rework, but I actually did like that smoky gray on their feet that they used to have. I almost feel like the egg white wolf, the original model, would have been a perfect leucistic gray wolf because, like other leucistic species, they all have like the feet that are a little bit darker and then it's just like that whitish color. So I feel like that would have been perfect for a leucistic fur type instead of an egg white. But nonetheless, these guys still look amazing after the rework, honestly. Alright guys, and now my most favorite rare, and rare number 2 of the grind, my first albino gray wolf. He was kill number 1552. That was just 30 minutes before the grind ended because I went on another rotation and got my great one number 2. And that's when my RNG luck started just straight popping off. It was nice. And you guys, I never thought I'd be sitting here with an albino gray wolf in my lodge. I never thought I'd see the day, but the time has come. Here he is, and I'm a little bit glad I got this one after the rework because oh my gosh, this guy is just really cool. I could have walked away from the grind with that and just been fine. Alright, so let's go ahead and wrap up this video. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on my journey. I'm so thankful you're able to see it and witness not only my first great one, but my second great one. Definitely let me know if you like longer videos like these, or if you prefer the shorter ones like my previous videos, just so that way I can better your experience as viewers. And again, thank you for the ones that have returned to my channel in my absence. I hope that this video makes up for it. And thank you all for being here. If you are new, definitely like and subscribe for future content. And I hope that everybody has an amazing holiday season and see you next time.